Welcome to Spotlight Gulf Coast, a weekly showcase of people and events across South Mississippi. Spotlight Gulf Coast is partnered with William Carey University and sponsored by the IP Casino Resort and Spa, the Trenchard Scholarship Fund, and the Butch Ostelet Foundation.
Hi everyone, this is Todd Trenchard, Executive Director of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi, welcoming you to another segment of Spotlight Gulf Coast right here on WXXV. Each week we're coming into your living room talking about what's going on across all of our region, and we want to thank our sponsors for this generous opportunity. Today we got a little bit of a different show. We've got two good friends, Bryant Mayfield and Linda Larkin. Appreciate y'all coming on, and of course we go back Rotary for many, many years, and Linda, I probably know you as well as anybody. You got me into juicing, you got me into, I'm coming in from my walk and you're blowing down the street walking.
That's right.
But welcome to the show first off, and I hope that we can get out, Bryant, what you've come up with, because I'm just listening. My mind swirls. If I hear something that I don't know something about, I'm starting to, go upstairs. And I think that you brought up some very good points that we're going to get to. But let's start off with what is the name of the company that you have, a software company, and where did the idea come from?
Todd, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Mm-hmm. And the name of the company is Optimal Answers. And it came out of ideas that evolved over actually several decades for how to take some proven technology on optimization and turn it into something that could enable pretty much regular people to deal with optimizing their decisions.
Okay.
This applies in work as well as in personal lives.
And you were saying that you're not from here. You came down here, after Katrina?
Well, I had met one of the Mississippi Belles one time. Mm-hmm. She lost her home in Katrina, and I decided after things were moving slowly that she was able to actually get her life going again, to come down and just see what was going on. I found it necessary to check on her more often, and I was staying longer, and we're married, and it's wonderful.
Well, that's a textbook answer there. I like that. I'll have to remember that. And now, Linda, what brought you down here? I know you're from Wisconsin, Cheesehead.
Well, right, I'm from Wisconsin, and we had bought a vacation home down here, so that's what brought me down here initially. And then I liked it so much I stayed, because
right.
Who wouldn't want to be down here? And I met Bryant because I went to Rotary, like I think we all end up there eventually. And I went a few times, and I would sit next to him at lunch. And I told him I used to work for a medical device company, and I was their social media person. And he said, "You're exactly what I'm looking for." And I said "No one ever" to me. But anyway, that's that's when I started helping Bryant about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years.
Now, this program that you're talking about, and software in general, is relatively prevalent across the country, but we have very little here, if any. And I think that was one of the things that you were saying. You saw that Mississippi, has a lot of, struggles in some areas, and maybe software would be one of those areas that could maybe elevate the economy and the job force, or.
That's right, Todd. One of the things that's happened is, for various reasons, Mississippi has not really participated in a significant way in the 21st century economy, which is all driven by software. And if you look at list of software companies, Mississippi does not have a headquarters company in the top 500. But it's software that has driven really great wealth and economic development in the tech hubs. So if you look at companies like Microsoft and Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google, then those are software companies that are in the Magnificent Seven, the $1 trillion market cap companies.
Right.
And what that really means is that software is really where you're able to generate high-paying, high-tech jobs. And something that would help us in Mississippi is to have more of those, and perhaps Optimal Answers can help.
And you're talking about maybe having the first software company here that is located, what, in Mississippi?
Well, there's other software companies, but a major software company that has significant revenues and lots of team members in the headquarters community.
Now, Linda, are you number one in that?
Well, clearly, yes. No, what I do, I wear many hats. And initially, we have a few developers, and I could see they needed help. Just on some calls we would be on. And so I thought maybe if I could find some interns at one of the universities here. So I contacted all the major universities and the community college. And University of Southern Mississippi was particularly helpful.
Yeah, you'd think the kids would really jump on an
Well,
opportunity
they
like
did.
this.
You know, some people weren't so interested in hearing this, but Jessica Hillman over at Southern Miss, she's like, our students would love that. And almost in 2 days, we received maybe 18 applications of people really wanting to come in and help and learn, because our developers, you know, they've been around a while, so they know interesting twists and turns and some neat stuff. So I sent Jessica an email the other day. I said, what's going on? Like, how's everybody doing? Are they happy? And she said, of course, you know, they really are enjoying the opportunity to work on these applications.
I know we started like student assistance 20-something years ago, and Chevron followed suit, Ingalls started following suit, because those kids, generally they were the cream of the crop that we were getting, but when they left, their confidence level was night and day from their classmates, and their parents were just like, wow, you know, by getting our kids out and giving them this opportunity. And then there's, you know, chances during the summer, I have the kids still call me, can I come in and just help? You know, just get me out of the house.
And they're so smart now, these kids. You know, they can just Google whatever they want and teach themselves, and they're so eager to work on, you know, what's the app on your phone? I guess that's just called an app. Just any application. It's been a godsend and wonderful experience.
I have to admit, you know, being over 60, it is difficult for me, you know, with some of the terminology. As you were talking, I was like, Microsoft. Well, that's where the soft came from. I mean, that's how limited my little brain is.
You know,
I just figured Bill Gates had come up with some name and it stuck. But, you know, when it comes to anything that has to do with that, you know, we used to always say in banking, we don't have to know anything. We just need to have the people that do.
Right, you're delivering.
And know where to go.
Yeah.
And we let them do their jobs, and how can we, you know, give them the resources they need to do their job, and they certainly were more than capable to do that. We're going to take a short commercial break here, see how quickly this goes. But now that we've got to know you, I think there's some, you know, questions that we need to, you know, dig a little deeper into, you know, maybe what some of the challenges are, and maybe some of the questions that y'all have come across. So y'all don't touch that remote. We're going to be right back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back, everyone. We're talking about, George, what's the name of the company again? Optimal
Answers.
Optimal Answers, and we're talking a little bit about a software company. Is this a relatively new concept, or is this something that's been around a long time?
It's a little bit of both. The mathematical technology has been around actually several decades, but what we've done is make it easy to use. So it's decision optimization made easy. We've made it easy to use the technology much like you would use a GPS. There's a lot of technology in there, but you just tell it what you want to know, press a button, and it gives you an answer on your route.
I know you were talking, you know, my simple mind, I immediately came up with, you know, how could this be used to make me $1 gazillion by Wednesday? Because I'm going to punch in my data and like I'm losing, so I should short the market and do that. No, that's not what it's about. But you did bring up a point that it can be used for anything, from helping a business to, what'd you say, making sausage.
There's a whole scope of applications for the software. And in general, there's like inventory management, procurement, product mix and pricing, planning, scheduling, and so forth. But some simple examples. For example, a restaurant. And one of the things that Linda did was introduce us to a friend of hers up in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, who has a restaurant. And he had a challenge in that he had multiple food distributors that he could buy foods and supplies from.
Right.
But the challenge was to pick the mix of items from the different suppliers so that he had the lowest overall cost. So with Optimal, our procurement application, we were able to enter the data, perform the optimization, and in just a second or two came back with, this is what you should order from distributor 1, this is what you should order from distributor 2. And the overall savings was about 7%, which is a significant amount of money.
Now this, you said, came back in seconds, so it's that quick. Once the data is in there, it's...
Correct. It's hosted in the cloud, so everything that's happening is on computers that are actually in the cloud.
The cloud that just was above us.
That's a different one, Bob.
That was raining.
No thunder and lightning where our applications are.
I just figured that out because they want $1.99 for me to get more space on the cloud. And I was like, I didn't realize you had to pay for that. That's about where my brain is.
That's
but
why
again,
Bryant's here to help you.
That's right.
Yes,
Now, Linda, when you're going out, are there what are some of the questions people ask? I mean, there has to be something that's a recurring theme, that if this is, so great, how come nobody knows about it? Why doesn't the whole world know about it?
Well, because we're just beginning our marketing plan. I mean, they were working on this, then we had COVID and some other issues, but we are starting to coming on this program. We had an article in the Sun Herald that was beautifully written, and that's what we're working on right now. We have a George Lamons, he's our media person. He has a lot of contacts in the media. So our goal obviously is to get into Wall Street Journal and TechCrunch and those kind of things. So we're ready to go. But
and I'm sure Optimal Answers gave you that sort of answer of how to do that. I mean, it could.
In part, that's correct.
Yeah. I mean, tell you, you can have the greatest product in the world, get it out there. If you can't meet the demand for the product, then you just got the greatest product. Now you're making change.
Right.
So you this has to be some kind of, science to something. I don't think that.
No, it's been a fun challenge to have to scale up and to get people in the community who want to come in and help us and work with us. And we've met just fabulous people, which is why I do this. I enjoy working with Bryant very much, and just coming on here and chatting with you. It's an interesting challenge and a wonderful challenge all at the same time.
Now,
Get
Brian,
the word out.
You're in Rotary each week. We go, you go to Great Southern every Thursday, and we got a lot of business leaders in there, and I'm sure you've talked to a lot of them. Is there some recurring sort of questions that you hear, or something that stands out?
Well, every product and service around us has a decision history. This table started with trees. There's a lot of steps to turn that tree into tables, and same with the carpet and cutting it to minimize trim loss. Everything around us has a decision history. And with respect to your question, one of the things that happened in Rotary was there's some comments I made one day, and I made the comment, think about everything around you and its decision history. Most of those decisions are not optimized. And I have had numerous comments back about how people have thought differently about products and services that they experience in the context of all the decisions that happen in the life of that product or service.
Yeah, it's got me thinking now.
Well, you also came up with a concept, Sits With All, for Rotary and service groups like that so you get in the habit of sitting with the same people every week. So there's an application that we will give to service companies that it changes it up for the whole year.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense because, again, we're creatures of habit. We sit in the same seat. I've sat in Pascagoula Rotary now for 26 years, of sitting in the same exact seat. If you're sitting in my seat, I don't eat. I mean, I circle the table a few times, you know, like a little kid with the poo-poo dance. And when they get up, then I'll sit in my seat. But that's generally the case in all your Rotaries, and if we could get people to move around, we get better perspectives, or, you know, have, you know, some of us dinosaurs sitting next to some of the ones that are, you know, 25 years old coming in, you know, like, who are all these people, you know, and they're intimidated by it. But I think that that's a really good program and a really good thought.
Yeah, if anyone, just email our website, optimalanswers.com, and let us know what your need is with that.
I know we're going to talk a little bit about some other things that this particular concept could give back into the community, especially, I mean, just talking about the, you know, educational possibilities of kids that maybe don't have this opportunity from here. So they go off to school. So because they want to be in the tech world, or, you know, we don't have that here. Whereas, you know, you go to Silicon Valley or up in, you know, Virginia Tech, they're all, I just came from up there in DC. They're all from home. They got 19 screens around.
Well, I will say the universities here are amazing, and we were excited to get these resumes in. I told Brian, I would never have known any of these kids in college because they're all like 4.3, 4.0, like amazing resumes. And I'm
blessed to be able to give out a lot of scholarships, and I've had them on the show, and you know, it staggers me. I mean, I'm like, how could someone be that mature at that age? I certainly did not have that. But we're going to take a short commercial break. We've got another segment. We're going to come back. Let's talk a little bit more about that, and you know, some possibilities in the community, because I'm sure there's a lot of them if we thought about them.
Oh, so many.
And getting people, and I want to touch real quickly on the nonprofit sector, because that sector is one of the sectors I've spent my career, you know, trying to, you know, better. And I think that there's some real possibilities there. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, I'm wearing my IP shirt. I was at IP earlier today, and I've got my little elves out there, and we're starting off Renaissance the Runway, of course, September 25th, the event of the season. It's certainly a must-see. If you haven't been to it, we raised a couple $100,000 that we put back into the community. And we want to thank our sponsors for the generous opportunity, and especially the IP for, you know, each year stepping up to the plate and allowing us to put on the best events here on the coast. So we're talking about optimal solutions, and you know, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the community aspect of it, Linda. You know, you brought up some great points, you know, with the students that come in, but also want to touch base on the nonprofit sector, because I think the nonprofit sector, you know, they work so hard at what they do, and they're very passionate about what they do, but a lot of times they skip the administration part because they're so overworked with what they do. And this could certainly be a tremendous help. Any type of, you know, guidance that can make their, you know, their efforts go farther. So.
Well, absolutely. Do you want to take that one, Bryant?
Well, we were talking about service, but one thing that we've taken on is actually helping school districts with their bus routing. And started in Pass Christian, and Linda did a little research on this and found that over 80% of all schools in Mississippi do not use any software for routing their buses. And what that means is that there's an opportunity for improvement. So We've actually done a prototype of this. The results look very promising, but it's an example of helping in the community by actually making the software available for an important public service purpose.
Well, just, yeah, I mean, anytime you can, have your return on investment, which would be maybe students, would maybe be, it's going to come out the other end in a positive way.
Right.
And
more money for other places other than school bus routes.
now, the interns, let's go back to that you were talking about. I'm sure that they love to be able to come here, and the college gives them credit for that.
Yes.
That is something that I served on the board for years at the college, and that was one of the things that both Mary, and Willis Lott had both promoted, was we've got to get these students out there, interface with the professional workforce. And when we started this with student assistants, all those years ago, I've had kids that have gone on to run major universities. It's just amazing to see them come in where they're like this, and they come, within a year.
And they're confident.
Their confidence, their, just ability to, because it was always inside. It was just, a kid doesn't know how to, let that for the world to see. And y'all are giving them that opportunity in a field that more and more people I know are looking at. I mean, it's pretty hard not to look at, some of the numbers. I can remember, now we're trillion-dollar companies. I mean, and there's quite a few of them. And I know that, that's something that can certainly help our community. Let's talk a little bit about the nonprofit sector. The nonprofit sector, we were talking some of the ways that, just like you said, it helps you
it helps
not spend as much time and money on something where you could be spending it somewhere else.
Right, and so that's exactly what it does, and just what you said. Yes.
Yeah.
And we want to be helpful to the non-for-profits, so obviously we can work some deals with them, and that's our goal, is to help them save money.
Might be, good if we could, have like a think tank where we bring them all together.
Yes,
and that
I'd
would
like
be
that.
something that would not only be newsworthy, that would be a tremendous asset for the community. And
do we know someone who knows non-for-profit people?
there's someone, there's a few out there.
We got to find that person.
Let me give you a couple examples, but again, we want to help companies that are service-oriented with our service applications. But in a nonprofit, there's always trying to control administrative costs and make the best decisions possible. But for example, determining what type of spend to have for raising money is an optimization problem.
Right.
Another area is you can put together the rules that you want to apply for how to distribute funds and perform an optimization and achieve the highest fulfillment relative to your goals and principles of the organization.
Right. So you can really, you can decide those parameters before you get into, plugging in the numbers. And I guess that's what you're saying. It's really for everything.
One of the nice things about optimization technology is that you put together the rules and then generate the single best solution that complies with those rules out of all possibilities. And even in the boards that you're on, people can have different opinions. But if you agree on what the rules are and perform the optimization, then it unites everyone around a single plan.
I know, and I sit in a lot of strategic planning, for a lot of boards, and we always do the SWOT analysis, and this is almost a upgraded SWOT analysis. Instead of writing these little things on a board, and then we take it back, and 3 weeks later we'll come back with this little pie chart that's going to do this, and generally 99% of the time you're too busy, you can't even get to it, and it's another year. And I see that over and over and over again. It seems like this simplifies it to where it might give you, like you said, you got $1,000, how do you best use it in the marketing field? I mean, do you use it with media? Do you use it with, or find free media? I mean, that's what the whole purpose of this show is, to provide a free venue so you can spend it somewhere else and tell the region and, about what you do. We just got about a minute left. It goes by real fast.
Yeah.
How do we get in touch with you to learn more information?
Well, our website is www.optimalanswers.com, and you could just fill out a contact us form. Through LinkedIn or Facebook, we have an Optimal Answers Facebook page.
So that's probably something you optimized and like use the same thing for everything and you'll remember it. I cannot stand websites that spell out some crazy thing that I can't remember.
Exactly.
Why did just your name, you know, and so.
To get information.
Anyway, I appreciate y'all coming on. I hope this helps. And I do look forward to, you know, seeing how we can, you know, further this discussion.
Yeah, thank you.
Turn this more into a reality. Thank you so much.
It's been a
Thank
fun
you,
venture.
Todd.
All right, you have a good day.
And we appreciate everybody's support of the Baco Foundation of South Mississippi. And until next time, this is Todd Trenchard saying so long and may God bless.